5 Sexual Practices in Africa. You need to know Africa is a continent with a rich and diverse cultural heritage, where the practices surrounding sexuality can differ significantly from one community to another. Today, we're going to explore 5 sexual practices in Africa that are worth understanding. These customs are deeply rooted in tradition, culture, and sometimes even spirituality. It's important to approach these topics with respect and recognize that while these practices may seem different, they have been passed down for generations. Let's dive into them. 1. Traditional marriage and bride price. In many African societies, marriage is not just a union of two individuals, but an important cultural institution that often involves the exchange of bride price. This practice is especially prevalent in communities across East and West Africa. The bride price is typically paid by the groom's family to the bride's family and serves as a way of showing respect for the woman's family and compensating them for their loss. The bride price is seen as a serious commitment, and sexual relations within the marriage are often closely tied to the concept of fidelity, respect, and responsibility. 2. Circumcision as a rite of passage. In parts of Africa, circumcision is not just a medical procedure. It is often part of a deeply spiritual and cultural rite of passage. For many communities, male and female circumcision signifies maturity and readiness for marriage. In countries like Kenya, Ethiopia, and parts of Southern Africa, these ceremonies are viewed as key transitions into adulthood. While circumcision is often linked with tradition, its modern-day practice has sparked significant discussions about human rights and health risks, leading to increased efforts to ensure it is done safely and with informed consent. 3. Polygamy and family structure. Polygamy has been practiced for centuries in parts of Africa, particularly in West, East, and Central Africa. It's a cultural practice where a man is allowed to have multiple wives. While polygamy was historically seen as a way to build alliances between families and ensure the prosperity of the community, today it's a practice that continues to spark debate. In modern times, polygamy is less common, but it still persists in certain rural and traditional communities. Sexual relations in polygamous marriages are governed by strict cultural norms, where the husband is expected to balance his relationships with each wife with fairness and respect. 4. Elders as sexual educators. In many African cultures, sexual education is passed down through the elders, often through oral traditions and initiation ceremonies. In some societies, girls and boys undergo initiation rituals that educate them about sex, relationships, and responsibility. These teachings are often wrapped in cultural wisdom, where elders guide the youth about their roles in marriage and reproduction. In certain communities, these rituals can include symbolic acts that prepare individuals for adulthood, with an emphasis on responsibility and respect for the opposite sex. 5. Sexuality and African spirituality. In some African traditional religions, sexuality is viewed not only as a physical act, but as a spiritual one. Sexuality is believed to be deeply connected to fertility, prosperity, and spiritual well-being. In communities where religion and spirituality play a central role, sexual practices are sometimes seen as a way of honoring deities or ancestors. For example, certain rituals may involve offerings or symbolic acts of sexual unity, aimed at ensuring the fertility of the land and the community. While these practices are often private, they are deeply embedded in the spiritual life of the people. Conclusion: sexual practices in Africa are as diverse as the continent itself, shaped by centuries of tradition and cultural beliefs. These practices are not monolithic, and it's important to approach them with an open mind and respect for the different customs and perspectives. While some of these practices have evolved over time, many remain a significant part of African culture and identity. Understanding these practices is essential to gaining a deeper appreciation of the richness and complexity of African heritage. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more thought-provoking content about Africa's culture and social issues. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Afric Tribal for more insights.